This week we're going to highlight the price movement for old and new crop soybean futures on the day that the USDA releases its prospective plantings report and grain stocks report, which will be March 31st this year. We're also going to highlight the latest updated export trends for US soybeans, and we're going to wrap things up looking at the latest National Weather Service forecast for the month of April, as well as a seasonal drought look into early summer. Hi, this is Brian Basting with Advanced Trading. Let's talk about the soybean market. We've moved into the last week in March here, and there's a lot going on. We're going to first, though, take a look at on March 31st, the USDA will release two key reports. Prospective plantings report, which is a first survey-based estimate of 2021 soybean acres, as well as the quarterly grain stocks report. Our first slide here is going to highlight the price movement in old and new crop soybean futures on the day that those reports have been released in the past. Now you can see here, we're looking at the last 20 years, there's really no trend. Some years we've seen some aggressive increases in price. Other years we've seen some aggressive declines in price. Last year was a bit of an aberration. There was virtually no movement at all, but here's the key message. Really and strongly encourage you to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to have your risk management positions in place prior to the time this reports are released on March 31st. The reason is the market can move very quickly here once those reports are out, and you'll be unable to position yourself in the market. Let's move on now and highlight export trends for soybeans. Now we've just passed the midpoint of the crop year being September through August. We just passed that midpoint of March 1. We're looking at total sales for this 2020-2021 crop year of 2.228 billion bushels of beans. Now that's a record total here for early March. Now we're going to highlight that the USDA is currently forecasting the shipments for the entire year of only 2.25 billion. So we're up to 99% of the annual forecast from the USDA. So as we've talked about before, there are several things that this could imply. We could be looking at perhaps more imports. We could be looking at some cancellations of some of these outstanding sales. Obviously, the USDA could increase their export forecast. A lot of moving pieces here. Some of those sales could be rolled into 21, 22. The market will figure that out, but the key message is we can't predict what that's going to be today in terms of how that will affect the market. This is, again, where you want to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to manage this price movement. It could be quite volatile moving forward. Let's move forward now and focus on U.S. weather trends. Now, the National Weather Service last week provided updated forecasts for the month of April, as well as an updated forecast of their seasonal drought outlook. Notice for the month of April here, it's forecast to be warm over most of the growing areas here in the U.S. Looking at the precip forecast, EC means equal chance of above or below normal precip across most areas. Actually going to dry out, it looks like, down in that south, in the Delta region, which is currently very wet right now. But it does look a little bit dry as we move further out west into places like western Kansas and about the 75-80% of Nebraska. Wrapping things up with the weather here, we're looking at the seasonal drought outlook. This extends all the way through the end of June. Not really any drought across the Midwest or the Delta, but as we move into the northern plains, which is critical, particularly for North Dakota up there, as well as South Dakota, it gets much drier. And if, moving further south across Nebraska and Kansas, also important soybean producing areas, it could be a bit dry, but we'll keep an eye on that for you. Wrapping things up here in November soybean futures slide here, we're looking at, again, 2021 November soybean futures are at the highest price for this time of year in 8 years. You have to go all the way back to March of 2013. So again, some opportunities we haven't seen for several years. Now, if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us. It's 800-664-2321. We'll put you in contact with one of our risk management consultants. We'll be happy to visit with you at your convenience. And remember, we upload every Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss an upload. Thanks a lot. Have a good week.